Yo, welcome to Hard Pass. I am your host, Jacques Slade. Today on the show, we've got the latest on Ja Morant, the return of the Yeezys, Travis Scott's next big sneaker, the week's hottest releases, and of course, our Hard Pass. All right, let's start with some hot takes. But before we do that, let's get a few things that happened over the break when we took our private yacht to the Mediterranean. Sails out, nails out. All right, Ja Morant. We had this whole bit prepared about his latest bit of foolishness, but it became very clear that Ja needs to take a break. Ja, or anyone for that matter, can't post cryptic IG messages where they simply say bye to their family without causing people to be concerned. After authorities conducted a welfare check at Ja's house, he claims he was just taking a break from social media. Thankfully. You know how you take a break from social media, Ja? You just break. Don't say anything. Don't announce it. Maybe a heads up to people in the inner circle, but that's it. Take a break, touch grass, and come back when you're better. We talked about it a few weeks ago, but it felt like he came back just a little too early from his first suspension because a lack of understanding of his position and his influence, along with the pressures of being a superstar on the championship contender who also happens to be launching their very first signature shoe. Now, it's obvious that was the case and he needs to lay low for a while. Look, in the span of 4 years, Ja went from being barely a blip in college basketball to holding the title of top young American-born NBA superstar. It's quite the leap, and it's clear now he wasn't ready for it yet. If it was just about basketball, he'd probably be fine. But it's more than basketball. It's about being the man of his family and friends and associates at the age of 23. Some athletes were ready for that responsibility because they've been prepping for it for years before stepping into the league, like LeBron or Luka or Grant Hill or Tim Duncan. Oh, he can still be a superstar after the NBA deservedly punishes him, but his actions have made the climb back to being a Giannis, LeBron, Curry level star that leads NBA All-Star votes that much harder. And I know there are a lot of people out there defending Ja and that it's not a big deal, and some are even throwing this into the bigger culture war discourse that goes on every day. I get it. They love to argue to feel something in their very online lives. I just have to say all they are doing is showing that they have never been in a position of relevance or authority where they have to be responsible for anyone besides themselves. I love them, but they are not serious people. Sorry. But not sorry. Speaking of not serious people, oops, sorry, I probably already annoyed the stands. That's like a new record this early into the show. Oh well, I won't be talking about the person. I'm still on that high horse. But the Yeezys are fair game just like I always said they were. Adidas has confirmed that they will be selling the remaining Yeezy stock with some outlets reporting they could be back as soon as the end of the month. You know, it hasn't been the same without Kanye. It's been better. But Yeezys, I'll admit, I've had mixed feelings about it. Like, honestly, Yeezys don't really do a lot for me. I unbox them for academic reasons, but other than a handful of pairs like the Wave Runners, man, I just wonder if the sad I'd be without Yeezys is less than the sad I'd get from being with Yeezys. Or maybe it's happiness. I don't know. And now I get to see what it's going to be like with the void field yet again with Yeezys that have silly, nonsensical names. It's bittersweet, really. And because I know you all want to hear it, my 17-time world champion Los Angeles Lakers were eliminated from the playoffs. If it is to be said, so it be, so it is. More on what LeBron said after the game later in the show. Okay then. Now that we got that out of the way, let's check out what's been going on this past week on my algorithm that is designed to keep me scrolling for hours because I have to sort through all the gushing Jordan memes. I get it. He's my GOAT. But if I cringe any harder, I might become a fossil. Congratulations to Brooke Koepka on winning the PGA Championship for, let me see here, the third freaking time in 6 years. If you watched this episode of Full Swing on Netflix, you know how much this meant to Brooks. It's like he went from being a sad lapdog to becoming the golfing Gatsby, living it up at Florida Panthers playoff games. But as cool as that was, the best story from the weekend goes to teaching professional Michael Effin Block. That man is a beast for tying for 15th place and pocketing over $200,000 in prize money. I'm not going to say he started from the bottom. I mean, Block won the PGA Pro Player of the Year award last year, which is given to the pro with the most nationwide points. Not to mention, he has a Nike golf deal where he gets all of the Jordan golf shoes. But the gap between a teaching pro and a player on the tour is even wider than, say, the gap between a NBA player and somebody in the G League, or an NFL player and whatever minor league The Rock owns this week. So for Block to capture everyone's hearts and minds with a stellar showing and a memorable hole-in-one dunk, he's about to get a ludicrously capacious bag, like monstrous, gargantuan. He could slide it across the floor after a bank job. Shout out to Carmelo Anthony, the 10-time All-Star, 3-time Olympic gold medalist, and member of the NBA 75 list, officially announced his retirement this past week. Yeah, smart to get this out now before LeBron messes around, actually retires, makes us forget Melo retired, and we all wonder in a few months why no one has signed him yet. He hyper-decanted, which makes sense since he's a wine guy and whatnot. A week after sneaker houses were a thing, this week's let's just fire up the AI instead of creating real content or hiring real artists gimmick post gives us sneaker beds. Join us next week as we make fun of sneaker fridges and sneaker furniture, sneaker theme parks, sneaker food, sneaker cars. Which I think that one actually already happened. And maybe like the reverse Viking, sneakers, which are sneakers inspired by sneakers designed by AI, and I officially hate everything. Leaked images of James Harden's Ace signature shoe and Anthony Edwards' first have made it online, and surprise, the Stans, not Smith, thinks they're scrapped Yeezy designs. I'm surprised they haven't claimed the Samba or the Superstar are knockoff power phases yet. Better yet, I wonder if they think Kanye designed the power phase. Or maybe they have and I've just conveniently ignored it like bad news about cruises. Either way works for me, really. And before we move on to the heat check, I just want to give Houston Rockets guard Jalen Green some props here on the show. He's the star of a new Adidas commercial that feels like a throwback to the good old days when sneaker commercials weren't afraid to have a sense of humor. I mean, it's not Kobe dunking on a kid funny, but it has its moments. And that wasn't the only time Jalen made news, as he told I was going to say old, but this was probably no more than like 5 years ago. Jalen told this story from a few years back during one of his Michael Jordan basketball camps.
I'm walking to practice from the dorm. I got like high socks on up to my knees, baggy shorts. My swag was terrible. I got Adidas slides on, and he just walked over to me and was like, "You need to take them weak ass Adidas slides off." I look back, I'm like, "What you mean?" He's like, "You need to get some Jordan slides." Yeah. I said, "Give me some." So he brought me some Jordan slides. I'm a little kid though. He talking about get rid of them weekend. That's what I'm saying.
Michael Jordan does not care about these kids, man. He'd make them play ball on the floor if it wasn't so wild, and his stands would be like, "Oh, look how competitive Michael is for making these kids hustle." It's absolutely not sociopathic behavior. No, what are you guys talking about? It's natural. Anyway, all right, it's the heat check where we bring you everything that's dropping this week. All right, let's check out the non-Yeezys that are dropping first. We have the kids Nike Dunk Low Easter on May 30th for $95. We have the Adidas HRLM, which is Harlem, on the 30th for $110. We have Born and Raised Nike SB Dunk Low on the 1st. The Nike KD 15, 50 Years of Hip Hop on the 1st as well for $150. The Nike Zoom LeBron Next Generation on June 1st for $160. The APB Nike LeBron 20 FAMU Pack, that's on the 2nd for $200 each. And then for our pick of the week, it's the Teyana Taylor Air Jordan 1 Zoom Comfort 2, a rose from Harden. That's going to be on the 1st for $150. Let's see here. Air Jordan 1 Celebrity Collab in red, slightly off-white and black, oversized swoosh, deconstructed elements. Man, this pair would be getting so much more attention and hype if they were not comforts. Taylor is doing the work though, gifting these pairs out to her famous friends, but I imagine it would be hitting the sneaker culture so much harder if this collab was given the same canvas as Travis Scott or the late Virgil Abloh did. Well, at least the shoes will be more comfortable than your regular pair of ones that need an insole swap the moment you get them. And then we have the Yeezys. These are reportedly all dropping between May 31st and June 1st. Although some Adidas sites worldwide have started making them available via the Confirmed app. I'm just gonna put this out there. As funny as I think it would be if these showed up at stores and no one gave it, We all know that's not gonna be the case. It's going to be a mess like it's 2015 again. And I'll be watching the nonsense unfold on IG and TikTok. We have the Adidas Yeezy 350 Boost Pirate Black for $230, the 350 Boost V2 Onyx. We have the V2 Zebra. We have the Adidas Yeezy 500 Utility Black. We have the Adidas Yeezy 450 Stone Teal. We have the Adidas Yeezy 350 Boost V2 Carbon Beluga. We have the Adidas Yeezy 380 Boost Covalite. We have the Adidas Yeezy 700 Boost Salt.
5 minutes later.
Adidas Yeezy 700 Boost V2 Tephra, the Adidas Yeezy Foam Runner Clay Top, I don't know. Adidas Yeezy Foam Runner Clay Red, the Adidas Yeezy Foam Runner MX Azure, the Adidas Yeezy Foam Runner Stone Salt, the Adidas Yeezy Slide Azure. We have the Adidas Yeezy Slide Onyx. And then for our Yeezy of the week, we have the Adidas Yeezy 350 Boost V2 Compact Panda for $230. Now, according to Wikipedia, pandas are a bear species endemic to China. It is characterized by its bold black and white coat and rotund body. Though it belongs to the order Carnivora, the panda is a folivore, with bamboo shoots and leaves making up more than 99% of its diet. They occasionally eat other grasses, wild tubers, or even meat in the form of birds, rodents, or carrion. In captivity, they may receive honey, eggs, fish, yams, shrub leaves, oranges, or bananas, along with specially prepared food. All right, let's get back to the hot takes. Looks like Travis Scott has debuted not just his collaboration with Nike and Jordan brand, but it appears to be a brand new silhouette. Okay, it's not totally new, as it appears to share elements from everything from the Nike Mac Attack to the Air Jordan 4 to a handful of current Nike SB signature shoes. Between this and Drake's still unreleased shoes that looks like a modified Zoom Flight 95, what is the line between homage and copying? It's like nothing is aligned. Everything everywhere is always moving forever. I just gotta get used to it, I guess. But if Travis' secret sneakers are a new silhouette, my guess is it won't sell. It'll be like a movie about a sleepy robot in a cave. Just solid, mediocre entertainment. Tons of hype, but won't move the needle like his Jordan retros. Now, I try to be careful with spoilers on this show. I really do. So what I want you to do is skip to this part if you don't want to hear what happens in the end credits of Fast X. Did you do it? I hope you did. So spoiler alert. Black Adam is back because his movie tanked so hard he now has to go reshape the hierarchy of power in the Fast universe again. In wrestling parlance, The Rock and Vin Diesel feud turned out to be a shoot that turned into a work, but might still be a shoot that could turn into a work at a future date unless it was a work all along that was never a shoot to begin with, brother. Oh, and Wonder Woman is back too because nothing matters. Does this mean I'm going to quit and not watch Fast X2 and Fast X Lightning Returns? Hell no. I'll be there opening day, baby. It's pro wrestling at its dumbest. And they've even got John Cena, who is totally not dead yet, to prove a point. Like, I may not love Fast, but I do love Fast. This damn franchise, man. It's like Vin Diesel loves us, but he keeps kicking us just to see if we come back. All right, it's time for this week's Hard Pass, where we take a look at something in the culture that just needs to go. Like the best show on television. Barry. That's right, Barry. The show about a hitman turned actor is ending its monumental run after 4 seasons, which seems short, but in all honesty, it's the right amount. You could make the argument that season 1 ended on such a high note that you could be forgiven if the creators just packed things up and closed shop. But they had more stories to tell, and they were great stories, man. For the past few years and through the pandemic, I stuck through this show about horrible, terrible, pathetic people who could have solved a lot of their problems if they had just gone to therapy. And it was worth every second. And now I'm getting sad just thinking about the show ending this Sunday night. But at the same time, the last thing I want to see is a piece of entertainment that wears out its welcome. Fast and Furious. I mean, The Sopranos were great, but it really did drag for a few years. 50 Cent almost single-handedly kept Stars afloat, but even I can't keep track of the PEU, the Power Extended Universe. It's either you or the MCU, 50. I can't handle both. Lost, Walking Dead, Grey's Anatomy, One Piece, too freaking long. Not everything can be Dragon Ball, people. Their excuse is Goku's an endearing dumbass. Barry's still a dumbass, but he lost the endearing part a long time ago. 4 seasons, all bangers, get in, get out, boom. Tell the story you want to tell, tie up the loose ends, and go out with what will probably be the most depressing ending to a show ever that will leave us laughing and crying at the same time. It's like watching the botched launch of a satellite in Japan and being relieved that no one died and just a few people lost their thumbs and maybe an arm. So yeah, Barry, thanks for the memories, you sociopath. There's no other show I'm looking forward to on a Sunday on HBO Discovery. Anyway, this weekend. Nope. No other show at all. Just Barry, Sally, Gene, NoHo Hank, Fuchs, and the rest of the not serious people. And that's going to do it for the show. Thank you for watching Hard Pass. I am Jacques Slade, and I was interested in sneakers from a very young age. I'll see you next week. If you'd like to possibly be featured in a future episode, call us at 818-493-9325. Leave a short message or socials if you want, no more than 30 seconds. All right, I'll see you next week. Peace. Oh, sorry, LeBron. I forgot about that. Look, this is either one of those lay GM moves everyone talks about where he pressures the Lakers to sign Kyrie, or he really feels those 20 seasons plus the extra 3 or 4 seasons that come from almost always going deep into the playoffs. He might actually be serious about retiring. Either way, if this is the end, I'm glad he got us a ring. A little disappointed it wasn't more than one, but it is what it is. Thanks, King. I still rank MJ and Kobe above you, but do us a favor and take the Jordan stands with you so we don't have to hear from them feeling threatened by a potential GOAT until Victor Wembanyama starts to show signs or Steph Curry wins another ring or 2.